And we are live. Welcome back to the channel. It is Chosen Wisdom Football. And today, here is your Manchester United versus Tottenham press conference reaction, pre-match press conference reaction, and match preview show. As usual, guys, welcome to the show. This channel is for the football fans, the Manchester United fans who like to think about football. That is the sound check. Always got to make sure the sound is good. Always got to make sure the technology is set up right. Welcome, guys. I hope everybody has had a great week. It is Friday, and our game against Tottenham is the first game of the weekend. It is tomorrow at 12:30. So it is in about, let's say, 12, 16, I don't know, 15 hours time. So in 15 hours, guys, we will be back here watching Manchester United versus Tottenham. But for now, this is your match preview show. And as usual, guys, we will go through the manager's press conference reaction. We will talk about the game, talk about the tactics, how the manager sees the game, who is fit, who is not fit, all the juicy news, all the major talking points. We will have them all here, guys. So big up the channel, big up the community. I hope everybody is feeling good. The press conference, we are going to lead with, of course, the match preview, the press conference that Carrick had yesterday, guys. I want to make it clear that the press conference was actually yesterday. And the reason why it was yesterday is because, as you know, today is the anniversary of the Munich air disaster. So today is a day that there's going to be probably less media, and the focus of today will be remembering what happened. This thing that binds the club together is one of the reasons why Manchester United, even though it is such a tragedy, it is one of the reasons why United have such a rich history. It is. So we will respect all the fallen. We will reminisce. And yeah, we will understand. We will understand that this is centerpiece. It's almost core to Manchester United's identity. It is. So yeah, we could spend some time talking about it, but the press conference is very juicy. Michael Carrick spoke today about recognizing the team's efforts in difficult times. He spoke today about being spoilt for choice with regards to his squad, something that we never really heard from Amram about. Of course, Carrick today spoke on the anniversary, the Munich air disaster as well. Carrick spoke about the togetherness of the squad, and also spoke about how he feels Manchester United can hurt Spurs. So the press conference reaction, we will get into it, guys. It's very, very juicy. Of course, Thomas Frank has also spoken. Spurs are not having the best of time, even though they came back and they drew against Man City. This season, Spurs are not playing well, and I have said this before. I think Spurs are due. I think Spurs are owed a good beating from Manchester United. So big up as well. We also have some quotes from Wayne Rooney, and also some conversations, some quotes regarding training and match days, guys. I think this information that we've received is very, very important with regards to how Manchester United under Carrick approach match days, and how Man United under Carrick approach training and rest days. We're going to talk about it. We're going to compare, and we're going to discuss if that is having an impact. And I think it is. So we'll talk about what's changed under Michael Carrick with regards to the match day routine and on the training pitch. We also have more Steve Holland propaganda if you guys want to talk about it, as well as news, guys. News that is spreading that apparently Manchester United see Dalot being used as a scapegoat. Either Manchester United or somebody in the Manchester United camp, or perhaps Dalot's representative, somebody is putting it out there that Dalot is being scapegoated. And there's a massive defense all of a sudden of Dalot. We're going to get into it, guys. We are going to get into it. Today is going to be an interesting day. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. Of course, we will end the show as we always do, looking at the match, looking at the team selection, looking at who we think will start the game, who we think will be on the bench. What kind of game are we expecting against Tottenham? Is it going to be a tight game? Is it going to be Tottenham perhaps defending for their lives and trying to hit us on the break? Are Tottenham going to try to monopolize the ball and have a bit more of the ball and try to get at us? What kind of game, guys, are we expecting tomorrow afternoon? Leave your comments below as we usually do. Big up the chat. All right, let's get into it, guys. So let's start off with the press conference. It is so interesting to hear and to see Michael Carrick's style. When I watch Michael Carrick, when I listen to him, he seems very laid back. He speaks okay, he speaks well, speaks normally, but he's very laid back. He doesn't look bothered. He doesn't look concerned about anything. Every question that's asked of him, whether the question is difficult or not, he usually responds in a very nonchalant kind of way. And one thing I've always said, guys, to the chat is, Amorim, so if your manager, if the person that's leading you into battle is emotional and erratic, it's not good for you. It's not good for you. Fergie wasn't like this. The best coaches are not like that. Yes, Pep will get angry every now and again, or slop, or Klopp might get annoyed or frustrated every now and again, but not all the time. Not all the time. And Carrick was asked about the togetherness. The togetherness. We're seeing something that we haven't seen in over a year. And let's be honest, guys, one of the reasons why we're seeing this is because we're winning games. When you win games, you feel happier and you are more together, usually. So we're not going to gloss over the fact that, yes, there is more togetherness in the camp because we are winning. But then the question then becomes, why are we winning? Then you're going to have to attribute the wins to Michael Carrick, right? Anyway, he spoke up in the press conference. He was asked about togetherness, and he says this, guys. I mean, I can stand here and talk about it all day long, but when you see the moment the boys are celebrating with each other and the supporters, the reaction of the boys warming up to come on, celebrating with Sesko for the winner as much as anyone else. I love to see that. You can't fake that. I can talk about it all day long, but to feed it, the boys did that. And I like that because I think I mentioned that in the celebration, how Xerxes on the bench ran over to Sesko, and you can't, I'm telling you, the four strikers under Fergie, they didn't like each other. Andy Cole didn't like Sheringham. Sheringham didn't like York. But these players don't look like they don't like each other. Xerxes is fighting for Sesko's position, and he's celebrating with Sesko like it was his brother. I like that. Sometimes it's good to remind ourselves, as much as we want to put these players against each other and say Xerxes deserves to play and Sesko deserves to play and all these things, it's a squad game. It's always been that way for Manchester United, a squad game. And I'm trying to get my community to understand that we can have different players with different attributes and not sell the one that's got a different attribute. Sometimes you just need to pull an ace out your sleeve and somebody can do something different. Carrick goes on to say it was definitely a big moment for Ben and big moment for all of us, and the supporters included. It's why we came to watch football and support Manchester United for moments like that. Carrick gets it. Carrick gets it. He's going to say certain things. He knows. He's been here for what, 10 years he was playing for Manchester United, a very long servant. He's going to say the right things as he does usually in his very flat, nonchalant way. He's not very animated, like I said before, but sometimes you need that guy. Big up T Kizzles in the building. TK will be sleeping. TK's from Canada. So 12:30 kickoff for T Kizzles is like a flipping 7 in the no, yeah, it's not even, yeah, it's 4 a.m. Yeah, what am I even thinking about? Yeah, it's a crazy time for you. So big up TK, always showing love, always supporting the channel. Always appreciate TK, always. Have a huge Monday coming up, so I have to be 100% most important Monday of my life. Ooh, T Kizzle. Big up TK. I'm not gonna ask, your business don't need to be out on the internet, but big up. Oh, got an interview. Yo, big up, big up, big up. First of all, for securing the interview. And listen, I'll give you the job. But not give me 2 years of Carrick first. Give me 2 years of Carrick first, and then you can, interview for the United job. Because I have a feeling the interview's for the United job, right? It's for the United job, isn't it, TK? It's not like I don't want you to be United manager, TK. I'm just saying right now, Carrick is doing okay. That's what I'm saying, bro. So, it is what it is. Anyway, let's move on. Next story in the press conference. What is there? What else is the manager talking about? Michael Carrick. Yes. So he was asked about the game in general. And he responded by essentially recognizing the difficulties in the circumstances recently. And I think it's very mature of Carrick to do that. People were saying at the time, this is Michael Carrick, of course, the first 2 games were standout games and expecting a tough start, and in some ways that maybe helped to get the whole group focused and alive and going in both games. I like that Michael Carrick just says things that I understand. I like that. I said it's easier in some ways to get up for the Arsenal and Man City game. It refocuses the players, and the Fulham game, in my opinion, and in TK and other guys in the chat, were saying the Fulham game would be more of a test. And in some ways, that Sesko goal at the end, in some ways it was. Carrick also says, I didn't look too far ahead, but we had a vague idea of what we wanted it to look like, and since we've been here, that becomes a lot clearer in how we want to play. The 3 wins have been fantastic in different ways. Bro, he is saying everything that I'm saying. I've said to you guys, the 3 wins we've had, are all amazing in completely 3 different ways. We saw us do so many things in all of those games that, when you're looking at a list of things, we can come back after losing 1-0, but can we come back after losing 2-1? Yep, we can do this. We did so much in those 3 games. It showed me a lot of character. It showed me a lot of character from the boys. It did. And I like that. I really like that about Carrick. He goes on to say, we're confident there's a lot of growth in the squad, but it's coming from a good place. And I agree. It's good to feel good. It's good to feel optimistic, guys. It's been a long time since I've sat here and under Ruben Amorim, I'm negative, and TK saying I hate the man. Remember TK? We had these discussions about me being negative and all these things. And I said, guys, I'm not overly negative, I can be quite a happy person, but there's nothing to be positive about. So why should I? And now we've got a new manager. There's a bit of positivity in the air. It just feels good, guys. It feels nice. My danger is I hope people are still going to come out in good times and not just come out in bad times to moan. I hope we're still happy. I hope we're happy in these positive times, because there will be some negative times again. So when the positive times are here and we're winning, I always got to say to you guys, enjoy this motherfucking shit. Enjoy it. Let's move on. What else is Michael Carrick saying in his press conference? He's This question was about who is playing. He was asked about who he will pick. Carrick says, of course, all the boys have been honestly fantastic. They are all desperate to play. For Malacia to be back, he's obviously missed a lot of football over recent years. So to be back around the group, he's chomping at the bit to play. Michael Carrick is not trying to isolate people. He's not trying to say bomb squad this and all these things. He's not on that. He's on harmony and getting confidence. He's not on alienating people and causing division and saying Kobe can't play because of Bruno and Bruno can't. He's not going to do these things. I don't think he's going to do these things, Carrick. He's too smart to be putting players against each other and all these. Even Malacia. He doesn't need to say anything positive about Malacia, but he is. He is. And when Ruby was going down on the youth, saying how the youth are rubbish and all these things, and I was saying this is a new low for a United manager. Some United fans defended that. Some United fans actually defended that. There's no reason to tear into the young players the way that Ruben did. Carrick finishes off and says, it's really important. We've got a strong group, as strong as we can, to take us through to the end of the season. So everyone is going to be important in different ways. Oh, my Lord, it's so good. The way that my brain works, and it works in a grey area. I'm a very nuanced guy. It's not black and white. And Carrick is saying, listen, everybody might have a role to play. I might have to throw somebody on for 10 minutes to win a game. Fergie made it, yeah, that no matter what you did, if you came on for 10 minutes, you contributed. You're part of the team. Solskjaer, if you come on for 5 minutes, Solskjaer, you might score a goal. You're part of the team. He wants the whole squad to feel like they're part of the team. There's no first 11 and then second 11. There is just the squad. There's Manchester United, and I can pick any one of you to play. That's how it should be. That's why it tears I get so angry when even some people in the chat are like, oh, get rid of this guy. No, we can't play this way. We can't play false nine. We can play every system every way. Because when we come up against an opponent where we might need to play Xerxes, we will play Xerxes. Just like Fergie might play Sheringham and take out Andy Cole for a game. We need to get into that mindset of squad. Especially, guys, when we are in the FA Cup, Carling Cup, and hopefully Premier League and Champions League next year. What happens when Sesko and Cunha gets injured? What happens when Xerxes and Cunha and Mbeumo gets injured? So I always love the fact when Carrick talks about people being different and mixing and matching and having options. It's football. He's a football guy, and I like that stuff. So big up the chat, big up T Kizzles. I use you guys as my international references. I'm positive that the negative times will be back, says TK. Big up TK. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna lose a game. We're probably we're not gonna go the whole season, the rest of the season without losing. We're gonna lose a game. It'll be interesting to see the reaction when we do lose. It'll be interesting to see how we lose, because I believe nowadays, if we lose a game now, it's probably going to be an individual error or a lucky goal at the end or something like that. I feel like for us to lose now, we're going to be beaten by a good team. So anyway, this is Carrick on the Munich air disaster, and as a young Manchester United fan, 8 years old, I was told about this. I educated myself on this. This is one of probably the biggest disasters to happen to a sporting team. I'm not going to say it's the biggest because I don't have the information, guys. But I think I'm confident in saying it's at least one of the biggest disasters to ever have happened to a sporting or big sporting team in history. To lose almost all your team in one disaster. Absolutely tragic, and it will never be forgotten. It will never be forgotten that the clubs that helped us rebuild as well, and how we rebuild after that. And Carrick, of course, has weighed in on the disaster. Sir Alex mentioned it when I came. It was important to him and us. It's a responsibility to know what came before us and the behaviours and responsibilities we need to carry through. Munich is the biggest part of the history of this club. The tragedy itself and how the team and club bounce back, it's important we carry it on. That is why, or at least one of the reasons, the Man United are the biggest club in the world, the most beloved club in the world, and like I said, arguably the club with the most history, richness. You can't separate us from this disaster. And it bonds the club, binds the club in a way, in my opinion, in a way that other clubs are not binded. Madrid is just a place where mercenaries go. You succeed, you swim. There's no homeness. Madrid is nobody's home, if that makes sense. So big up Carrick, very nice thing to say. To be honest, I don't think he can say anything that's not nice about the Munich air disaster. So let's go and move on and listen to what he's had to say about Tottenham, guys. Let's start thinking about the game. And of course, guys, let me know if you agree with this general quote from Michael Carrick. They've got good attackers who want to stretch the back line. It's something we've got to be aware of, but we're looking forward to it. The boys have worked well this week. Full stop. I like that. Listen, we've worked on this. We know what they're about. We know their speed. We know Kolomawani and Solanke. We know the plays that they have, very quick. They want us to play with a high line. They want to stretch us. So Carrick has already identified this and just putting it out in the ether, putting it out in the air. He's also letting us know that we've worked on it. We've worked on stuff. They've worked well this week, the boys. He goes on to say, they certainly bring a challenge. The way they finished the game the other day, they've had, over a period, players injured, which is true, guys. A lot of changes to the team, which makes things more difficult. Let's be honest, Tottenham have had a lot of injuries. Where's Maddison been? A lot of injuries. A lot of things moving, a lot of moving parts. A lot of Tottenham fans are angry with Thomas Frank. But then the question is, what can Thomas Frank do? I don't know. Let's read on. They're getting players back. They have really good attackers that look to stretch the back line and play forward and attack the box an awful lot. Cool. It's going to be a slightly different game to what we've played in recent weeks, but we're looking forward to it and we're in a good place. So, I agree with Carrick. I think the Tottenham game, and especially, guys, after watching them against Manchester City, watching them come back, I watched the game and Man City could have been 3-0 up and the game probably should have been put to bed. But Tottenham held on. They held in there and they came back. So Tottenham are a very weird side. They're a very weird side, and I think we need to be careful. I want to win. I think we will win. You guys let me know what you're thinking, what you're feeling as well, guys, in the chat, please. But we need to be careful, because Tottenham can hurt us. They can. But we are much better defensively than City. We have a better defensive structure than they do. I think we can handle their attack better than City could. And not only that, some of the chances that City missed, I think with Mbeumo's, Cunha's, we're going to take them chances. So that's my opinion, guys, of it. Let's move on. Let's see if Michael Carrick has said anything more. No, we're talking on Thomas Frank now. So Thomas Frank is getting it mostly from Tottenham fans. Tottenham fans are giving it to Thomas Frank, protesting, walking out, doing all of these things. I know Expressions oozing hates Thomas Frank and wants the manager sacked. I know that. It is what it is. I didn't mind Thomas Frank. I think Thomas Frank is a decent manager. I think he was good at Brentford. If he doesn't work out at Tottenham, it doesn't mean he's a rubbish manager straight away. He was one of the managers that I was thinking we could interview before Amorim came to United. So I have time for Thomas Frank. I do. I don't think he's a bad coach. And Thomas Frank, even though he's having a really bad time at Tottenham, let's be clear, he's having a hard time at Tottenham. The results and the facts show it. I think they're 15th in the league or something. But yeah, Thomas Frank on Michael Carrick. So Thomas Frank came out and he's said this. He's had a great start. He's injected a level of energy into the team, and it looks like some of the players are in a good place. It's not the first time someone said Man United are in a good place. He said it. Carrick said it. One of the commentators said it. Man United are in a good place right now. We are. We are in a good place. We're good. We're happy. We know the threats from before, from Brian Mbeumo, Cunha, and Bruno have been keeping this team ticking. He's done it for 4 and 5 years. It's a challenge, but looking forward to it. So he just, praising Bruno a little bit at the end, saying he's been doing it for 4 and 5 years. Bruno's been an important member of the team. But you know me with Bruno, I do have my love and hate relationship with Bruno, as a lot of fans do. I appreciate all the good things, but I'm not blind to the negative things like other fans are when it comes to Bruno. My assessment of Bruno will always be rounded. But yeah, he's clearly naming the players that he's afraid of. And if I was Thomas Frank, I'm not going to lie, Thomas, I would be afraid of those players too. I would be afraid of those players too. We're gonna come. I think we're gonna do something against Tottenham. It's at Old Trafford. We're at home, and like I said, I think we owe them. We need to pull their pants down and slap their little bottoms. That's what we need to do on Saturday. Do you know what, TK? I'm glad you said Frank has a very punchable face. TK, remember when we used to play Brighton? We used to play Brentford. And whenever Brentford beat us, he used to come out or draw or something. He always used to come out and say something a bit snarky. Thomas Frank always used to come out and say something like to dig a knife into us. Say something a bit cheeky. He always used to do that, TK. I remember Thomas Frank in press conferences when we played Brentford. He always had his chest out, TK. So, what goes around comes around. I don't know, bro. But has a punchable face. Not quite Madison-ish, but up there. Yeah, Madison's face looks like he was born a wind-up. Yeah, Madison looks like he was born a wind-up. He was just born to wind people up, his face. This is quite interesting, guys. I'm going to bring this to your attention. This has come from the Athletic people, and it says that although the spelling is crazy. The spelling is crazy straight off the bat, but we're going to read the story anyway. Although Ayden Heaven may not start again this season, given the lack of games left, Manchester United feel that the defender needs to develop and can do so in training. It seems as if I have frozen in a very weird pose. Have I frozen in a weird pose? Yes, I have. Okay. Apparently, I am still live, so we will move and we will keep going. We have about 13 games, 14 games left, guys, and I don't know why we're putting it out there that he's not going to start any more games, because anything could happen. So anything could happen. And despite what you want to do, injuries could happen. So it's a very strange thing to do. It's very strange to see somebody start game after game for Manchester United Football Club at the start of the season, only to try to lie. Are you going to try to lie to us saying that he's not ready? He's ready. Throw him in. I don't know about this. Is basically what I'm saying, guys. Not frozen, just cold. It's like it's from the Athletic. It's clearly been put out there. I don't. M- Manchester United feel that the defender needs to develop and can do so in training. I know that, but playing matches doesn't stop him from training. It's such a weird story. The story says he will develop tr- in training, but you develop more when you play games. Everybody knows this. That's why the whole Amarim spending more time on the training ground with Amarim and less time playing games was always a backwards concept. Because if you actually played football, like me, you would know training's cool, training's good, but games are the best way for you to get better. Actually playing games. So it's very strange because him playing games doesn't stop him from training. He's still gonna train. So him saying not, they're trying to play. He can develop in training, but he can also develop by playing games. There might be a game against Wolves or someone else that he can play, and he's shown so far that he can play games. So while I understand that he's a developmental defender. I understand that, but what you can't do is play him in for 4 or 5 games, see that he's played well, because the games he's played, he has played well. Against all these big top teams, he played well. You can't just see him play well and then say, we're going to put him back and he's not going to play anymore because he needs development. I get that, but he needed development when you were playing him as well, and you played him. So what's changed? He needed development 3 months ago when you were playing him, and he still needs development now, but you've stopped playing him. I understand kind of what they may be trying to say here, but it comes across a bit messy the way it's said, and it's a bit weird. But defense is one of the hardest positions, because defense is one of those positions where your know-how matters more. Hence why it's hard for young defenders. It's always hard for young defenders in the Premier League. Young attackers, fine. Young midfielders, fine. But that's why I always say, guys, you very, very rarely see 18-year-old defenders in the Premier League. 18-year-old attackers, cool. 18-year-old wingers, cool. Defending is more about experience. Knowing what position to be in, knowing when to back off, knowing when to drop, knowing when to do this. Knowing. The word I'm using is knowing, which means knowing can only come with experience. And that's why I keep saying the fact that we have 18-year-old and 19-year-old playing first team, playing in the first team in the Premier League already, where the likes of Saliba and these guys would have got shipped out to gain experience. In about 2 or 3 years time, these young defenders are going to be a lot better. They're definitely 100% going to absorb this experience. I know it. And Heaven is going to improve so much. But play games. Kwaku, big up Kwaku in the chat. Heaven just needs time. Also, I want to say that as much as people want to hate Ineos, like I said, £1 million on Heaven, £20 million on Dorgu. Listen, this could be a signing, the signing of the decade. Maybe not that stretch, but £1 million for Ayden Heaven, who could turn out to be a £50 million defender, or maybe more. Who knows? Who knows, guys? So big up Heaven, big up the chat, big up Kwaku Garner, my guy. All right, let's move on quickly. This is what I was talking about before, guys, in my lead up to the show. We're going to have to just quickly run through the training, because Manchester United and the journalists around Manchester United are putting it out there that there's a massive change in the way that we approach training and a massive change in the way that we approach the match day and also rest. And they're essentially putting it out there that this is making a big difference to the team, and also essentially saying that we're going back to a more Fergie way of doing things. A more Fergie way of doing things. And that is apparently benefiting the players. So we're going to get into the detail. So training is much, and this is, let's focus, guys. Training is now much, whoa, blood clot. What a bomber. You know, always when something happens, the Jamaican flies out of your mouth. What a bomber. What a bomber. Yo. Training is much shorter under Michael Carrick. It is usually finished by 1 p.m., though players are free to do extra work. Full stop. That's the first thing. The first thing is training under Michael Carrick now is a lot shorter. A lot shorter. Ruben Amorim often thought the solution to on-field struggles was more coaching. So the days under him were longer, although there were blocks of free time between meetings and gym work, then another before the start of the main training sessions. Full stop. I feel like this is such telling. This is so telling. One manager wants to get the best out of his players, wants the conditions, the environment to be perfect so he can get the best out of the players, i.e. one manager is focusing on the players. The players are the center. Another manager is focusing on how he can get his system to work. If certain things are not working on the training pitch, we do even more work and we stay even longer. And sometimes that's not the best way of doing things. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes if something's not working, you just change the thing. I can see Ruben Amorim hitting the players over the head, metaphorically, for hours and hours and hours, when the players themselves feel that it's not working. You want to enjoy what you're doing. You don't want to be doing something that you don't enjoy and be doing it all day. Do it for 4 hours, because it means you might come back the next day more energized to do it. If you do it for 6 hours, 7 hours of training, you're not going to come in. You don't want to come in tomorrow. But if you do little 4 hours of short, intense training, yeah, you want to come back tomorrow. It's about, for me, it's about human. It's about looking at the footballers like humans and treating them like humans the way that Fergie would do it. That's all I'm seeing Carrick do. These new managers, these coaches, these hipster coaches that want to just drill you into a system and change you, while other managers don't want to change you, they want to bring the best out of you. It goes on to say, Carrick has kept things short, intense, and sharp. Yeah? If anyone needs treatment for an injury, they are expected to arrive early to get it. Efficiency. And you can see by the way we play. When we can attack and we can attack quickly, we will do so. We ain't got time. Intense, sharp, quick. And you can see by the way that we're playing. We're not lethargic. We're not. So it's important for me to read this, understand what Carrick is saying, understand what Carrick is doing, and also we can kind of see it slowly, especially over the last 3 games, being reflected on the pitch. Wayne Rooney revealed on his BBC podcast that United stopped training early before the Arsenal game because the standard was too good. That's weird, guys. That's a weird thing to say. But it's very interesting. Carrick wanted it bottled up and saved for the game. Imagine that, guys. Imagine watching training and then, training stops at 1 p.m. But things are going so well. The guys are just intense. Everything's perfect. You're like, whoa, okay, cool. We can stop at 12:45. We can stop at 12:30. Don't tire yourself out. Don't get injured. Don't do anything more. What you're doing right now, lock it in and replicate it on the pitch. That's all you got to do now. What we're doing now, rather than doing, because when you do 12 hours training, listen, nobody trains for 12 hours. But let's say you do a 12-hour, you can't work for 12 hours intensely. And you can't replicate, what you're doing for 12 hours, which is going to be lethargic, on the pitch. So what Carrick is doing is trying to say, listen, what you do in training for 2 or 3 hours intensely, replicate that onto the pitch. You can do that a lot easier now, rather than that 6-hour session where you're just chilling and doing a lazy little rondo because you know you're here for another 5 hours. So you got to reserve your energy. You can't then pick that up and bring that to the pitch because you're not training with any intensity. Train with the same intensity, lock it up, transfer it to the pitch. Boom, bam, thank you, ma'am. That is how I understand it. That is how I understand it. And I like that, guys. I love it. I love it. The more I hear about, listen, maybe I'm a sucker. Maybe I'm a sucker, but I don't think so. Because when I fell out of love with Ruben Amorim very quickly. I didn't like what I saw. But every time I hear Carrick speak, the more I understand about Michael and his approach and the coaching staff around him and all these things, the more I'm like, we might actually have our club back. We might. I'm not going to get too giddy, but we might actually have Manchester United back. I said to you guys, and I put my head up over the sand, I said we could finish second. I don't think we will, but we could. And I will not be surprised. That is how I'm feeling right now. Positive. I'm going to be listen, it's going to be such a change. I'm going to go from being hella negative under Ruben Amorim to the point where TK is saying I'm too negative. And I'm going to be hella positive to the point where TK is going to say, children, relax yourself. That's what's going to happen. Sausage says 5-1. I like sausage. I like that, bro. 5-1. I'm here for that. I am here. I'm here for 5-1, bro. Absolutely 100% here for it. And if we... Tottenham just... Bro, I don't think you... I just need us to give Tottenham one. I still having flashbacks, hot sweats regarding the Europa League final. We should... I can't believe... I still sit and I'm like, we lost the Europa League final to the butlers of the Premier League. The one team here that can challenge Arsenal for being butlers is Tottenham. And we, all United fans, went into that final not even thinking, knowing we were going to win. But Tottenham ain't beating us. No way. And we lost. No, Tottenham need to get one, man. Big up sausage. Also, let's talk about, so we've now addressed and we've now spoken about the changes in training, and we've compared the training approach to Ruben Amorim. And we also know some players like Dalot, some players like Maguire and Martinez have already been interviewed and they've already been asked, they've already expressed their opinion, and they've, not by having any digs at Amorim, but they've essentially said things are better under Carrick. That's essentially what they're saying in layman's terms. But this is now news about our approach with regards to matches, and rest has also changed. And I think this is interesting, guys. Once again, on this channel, we like the details, we like the deep stuff. So let's find out what the news, what this Samuel Luckhurst is saying to us today. So, United players are now allocated a day off the day after matches. A break in post-match routine from the Erik ten Hag and Ruben Amorim eras. Very interesting. It goes on to say this: Ten Hag and Amorim insisted on recovery days the day after games, with those who had not played at least 45 minutes put through a full training session. So I can already see problems with that. The problem you have with that is they have a day off and I don't, but you chose them to play. So that doesn't make any sense. Let's say you are one of the players, like I said, that goes into training. Yeah. The next day, because you didn't play 45 minutes, you are at work. You have to work on a day that your other colleagues don't have to work. And the reason why you have to come in that day and they don't is because the manager picks them to play. It's not your fault that the manager picked them to play because you want to play. You want to play. So the manager picks a team. You don't have to come in because he didn't pick you. It's not your fault he didn't pick you. Not necessarily. So I can see how that system could be annoying, frustrating. What is the point of even having those players training when they're not the first team? Anyway, it's a bit, I can understand why that system could be problematic diplomatically, ethically, whatever you might want to use. And it goes on to say, yet Carrick has decided to give United players the next day off following fixtures. With recovery sessions taking place today, the players report back at the club's Carrington training complex. Carrick has already imposed himself as head coach, shortening United's training days, as we already discussed, but upping the intensity of sessions. There has been a greater focus on individual work with specific players, with former defenders Jonathan Woodgate and Johnny Evans working with the centre-backs on their technique. I'm not going to lie, I've said this already. Jonathan Woodgate, Johnny Evans were amazing defenders. If we can produce defenders, if Heaven, Lenny Euro can be as good as them, better than them, we are blessed. Amazing. I also love the fact that he can pull players aside and work on them individually. In order to work on a player individually, you have to profile them. You have to understand them in the first place. Understand what their weaknesses are and their strengths are, which means you have to be attentive. You have to be detailed. You have to bring Ahmad to the side. Say, Ahmad, I want you to work on using your right foot. I know you're very left-footed, Ahmad, but for the next hour, we're going to do this exercise with you and with you only. In order for you to do that, you got to know about that play. You can't just slap everybody and bring and make everybody have the same training. Some people have weaknesses in some areas and strengths in some areas. If you can identify that person's weakness, that player's weakness, as a coach, you're doing the right thing. And we already know, in my opinion, that I think Carrick has already got good player profiling skills. The way that Carrick spoke about Xerxes, Sesko, and Mbeumo, and he highlighted the difference in all of them. Xerxes holds the ball up, brings others into play. Sesko can run in behind, and Mbeumo and can drop deep, and he's tall. And Mbeumo can run in. He highlighted the differences, the pros and cons of all of those attackers. Beautiful. Good. Understand the players that you have and play them in their right positions. Very, very well done, Carrick. I'm impressed, guys. I am impressed with Carrick. And I'm not easily impressed. You guys know this. You guys hear me speak. A lot of times I'm cussing. A lot of the times I'm frustrated. But Carrick is impressing me. And I have to say what it is. If he's impressing me, I've got to call it. He's saying, and so far, he's saying and doing the right things. Anyway, he goes on to say, there's also been logistical tweaks to home matchday routines. Under Carrick, after players have had their pre-match meal and team meeting at Carrington, their departure on the team coach at Old Trafford has been pushed back 10 to 15 minutes to ensure more fans are gathered at the stadium when it arrives. Carrick wanted his players to feel the excitement of the fans right before they got ready, rather than hanging around longer. Just like, bro, I can't keep saying I like stuff, but I can. I understand how much psychology matters in football, and after being a Man United fan for so long, watching Ferguson dominate the league with psychology, essentially, he wasn't a tactician. He just knew how to get the best out of his players through his words, through his approach. And that is what Carrick sounds like. He's taken a bit. Don't forget, Carrick was he played under Fergie, but he also played under Louis van Gaal for a little bit. He would have taken from all of those coaches. To be fair, Amram did do something similar, but we also need to understand when results are going your way, these are the kind of small details that people are going to pick up on and try to use as a reason why. Like, why is it going so well under Carrick? Let's just look. What is he really doing that's different? And people start finding things like this. So big up the chat, big up Sausage. Spurs play wide open. That suits us just fine in a run and gun game. Yeah. If it's Sausage, if it is a shootout that Spurs want, we're gonna win. I don't think Spurs are gonna want a shootout. I think Spurs are gonna play defensively. I think they're gonna sit back a little bit. I feel like if this match happened before Ruben Amorim left, they would be a bit more expansive. I feel like they've seen in us in over the last 3 games, and teams are now going to have to approach us differently now because we're a different team. We're a different team now. Anyway, Stevie Holland, guys. More propaganda for Steve Holland. As you guys know, Steve Holland is part of the coaching staff. He has a long history of success working with Mourinho, Southgate, and other high-profile managers. And over the last 2 weeks since he's been appointed, we've had a few pieces come out just to speak positively about him. Essentially, some propaganda pieces to let us know what he's done, what he's about, what he can do, and how he is helping the squad. Early on, Steve Holland told United squad that he would be fair with all of them, but that he expected hard work. And anybody who didn't fulfill their side of the bargain would be sent back inside. Players were also given homework clips to study on their phones after one of the early sessions. Steve Holland we're going to hear more and more of these things, but essentially it sounds as if they're painting Steve Holland to be a no-nonsense guy who just wants people to work hard. He's not on, you slacking off and all these things. Give 100%. He seems to be a man of detail. He's slowly been painted as the sort of tactician, not master tactician, but the brains that helped Southgate navigate England to the finals of Euros. He's been credited with that. So, listen, the more impressive people, these Ineos and Glazers, especially the Ineos, because we know how rubbish the Glazers are anyway, but Ineos kept talking about hiring the best in class, Before we had Ruben Amorim and his kids, his 30-year-old coaching staff. Now, in a split second, we've thrown these guys away and we've gone with Premier League experience. Not Carrick per se, but Steve Holland, Woodgate, Evans, and the others around him all have very, very good experience, either playing in the Premier League or at least managing in some capacity. So we're going to see a lot more Steve Holland prop. It is what it is. He's here now and he's helping the squad, and it seems as if he's helping the squad in a very good way. So big up Steve. Big up Steve. Harry Maguire, once again, before we look at the teams, guys, Harry Maguire has also spoken about Woodgate. Of course he would, the lads, the English lads, the England lads, the England defenders, rubbing shoulders. But I think Woodgate was a better defender than Harry Maguire. I really, really do. Harry Maguire's come out and he has said that Woodgate was a fantastic player. Coaching, he's come in and he's been refreshing. He brings great energy to the group, to the sessions. Obviously, he's been a centre-back himself and he's given me tips. And he's going to definitely work a lot with the younger centre-backs, with Lenny, Ayden, and Tyler. But, of course, even senior players like myself and Leacher we can learn from him. He's brought great ideas and I've been really impressed. Good on you, Maguire. I was going to say, before I actually finish that whole paragraph, I was thinking to myself, is Maguire just saying that Woodgate is only here to coach the youngsters? Is he trying to push the fact that he doesn't need to be coached and he doesn't? Is that what Maguire is trying to say here? But when I kept reading and when I finished the paragraph, he spoke about the fact that him and Leacher both can learn from him. So that's good. It's good that he's humbled himself, both him and Leacher. And sometimes not easy to do that when someone comes in and tries to tell you what to do, especially if they've retired only 10 years ago or something. But it's good that he is open to learn from Woodgate. Let's be honest, guys. Maguire, he has been decent over the last few games for United. So onwards and upwards, guys. It's all good. Big up the chat. Big up the chat. I feel like we are reaching the end of all the news. We've gone through a lot in today's show. It's been a very, very thick, heavy show with a lot of content. Let's just recap before we speak about the match, before we look at the teams, guys, and finish off the match preview. Let's quickly recap what we spoke about today. We spoke a lot about the press conference. We looked at all the important quotes coming out of the match preview press conference from Carrick with regards to the team, the authenticity of the team, how the team is coming together, the abundance of players he could pick, the formations, how he's excited to have so many players available and so much choice. He's, of course, spoken on the Munich air disaster, which, of course, the anniversary is today. And we've spoken about that as well and how important it is to keep the memory of that alive as Manchester United fans. We spoke about how Carrick feels about the Spurs game. We've seen some Thomas Frank quotes himself with regards to the players that he's scared of. Spoken a little bit about Heaven and how Heaven won't start. And of course, we've spoken about the training regime, which has changed, the intensity of it. We've spoken about the adaptations and how we are approaching match days and how we are approaching rest. We are approaching rest differently now under Michael Carrick. So yeah, we've spoken a lot. We've covered a lot with regards to the game at 12:30 tomorrow. Yeah. Last thing, one of the things I want to ask, guys, is about Dallo before we get into the team. I want to ask a question. Let's put it out there. I'm going to read this, and essentially, guys, the gist of this that we're about to talk about is United, or someone at United, believe that Dallo is being used as a scapegoat or has been used as a scapegoat. It's very interesting that I've seen Pogba being used as a scapegoat. I've seen Jadon Sancho. I've seen other players, whether you like them or not, being used as a scapegoat. The media used them as a scapegoat. United allowed the media, they didn't come and defend them, allowed the media to use them as a scapegoat. Never put any tweet out to defend them, ever. But all of a sudden, United, someone at United, or maybe United in general, are coming out now to defend Diogo Dallo and saying that he's been used as a scapegoat, even though we've all seen his poor performances over the last year or so. We've all seen them. We've all seen how poor Dallo has been. So this is, for me, when I read, we're going to read it together, guys. We will read it together. But before we read it, I just want to say it's disappointing a little bit. Because I understand PR and I understand how certain things work. But I wish the club would protect all their players and didn't pick and choose who to protect and who not to protect. That is all I'm going to say before we read. So Samuel Luckhurst has put this out there. Diogo Dalot has earned some deserved praise in recent weeks in a season where he has been a borderline scapegoat for many United fans. I mean, at the same time, you can't disagree because the statement says he has been a borderline scapegoat, as in just about a scapegoat, right? By many United fans. And it doesn't say all United fans, he says many United fans. So the words he's used almost shows that it's grey. It's a grey area. Not everybody has used him as a scapegoat, but I feel like it's implying that fans who have said that he hasn't been good, it's almost implying that they're wrong, or it's almost gaslighting them. It goes on to say this: the club have rallied around Dalot and were keen for Carrick to voice his support at one of his press conferences, while he did in a measured manner. This is important because if this is true, and it's coming from Samuel Luckhurst, this is telling us that the club understand who is under pressure in the media and who is not. They understand this. So if the club identified that Dalot was under pressure and then told Carrick to say something positive about him, that is telling. It's telling because it means they could have done more for other players if they wanted to. That's what that means to me. It even goes on to talks about his personality. Dalot's pleasant persona. Who decides that Dalot has a pleasant persona? Who decided that? Dalot's pleasant persona has ensured Dalot has always remained popular with teammates. Okay. I mean, I don't think most players are hated in their dressing rooms. Dalot is very approachable with the press. I don't know what this got to do with football. I don't know what any of this thing has got to do with football. But we'll read on. Dalot's very approachable with the press too, and is often the United player who fronts up in defeat. So that sentence there, guys, is speaking about everything other than football. And this is how they get you to love players and hate players. If they can't hate your football, they try to talk about your hair being blue, or you dancing, or something along those other lines. Here, they're saying Dalot is perfect. They're essentially saying, listen, you can talk about his football all you like, but outside football, he's a perfect human being. That's kind of what they're trying to paint here. And this is put out there by United. So in some ways, I am happy that they're defending their player. I'm thinking about the consistency here of their approach. Who gets protected and who doesn't from the club? I bet a lot of players, the Jesse Lingards of this world, for instance, a lot of black players, it's my channel, I'll be honest, a lot of black players, Andy Coles of this world, wish that United would come out and protect them. I wish, but it is what it is. It is what it is. I don't think Dalot needs protection. I don't think Luke Shaw needs protection. I don't think Mason, I don't think certain guys need protection. But they do get them. Especially the English players from the English press. The Luke Shaws of this world will always be protected. And that will always be a frustration for me. To see how some players are protected and some players are not. It will always be a frustration for me. But big up the chat. Dalot is also in charge of the music in the locker room. I don't know if you're joking or not, bro. Oh, he is. Yeah, he can be in charge of everything, sausage, except for being a rat back. Be in charge of all the other things, yeah, that clearly these guys care about. A pleasant persona. Whoever types pleasant persona is such it's such a weird piece, guys. It's such a weird piece, but it is what it is. Big up sausage, big up T Kizzles, big up Turkish in the chat. Small chat today, but we move on a Friday evening. Big up. This is your match preview, guys. Let's get the team sorted. Make sure you throw in your predictions in the chat. Big up. What's it gonna be? Sausage already said 5-1. 5-1 to Manchester United. Okay, guys. Yeah, no joke. Sausage was serious. He's in charge of the music. He's also part of the leadership team, Sausage. Right? He's part of the leadership team. All of these things, but he can't, and he's not playing well on the pitch. But that's how you stay pleasant. You know, be part of the leadership team, play your Portuguese music in the dressing room, and then that's how you stay pleasant, right? That's how you stay pleasant. Guys, the team. The team. What we doing? Are we playing a higher line? Because I feel like under Carrick, we'll play more of a mid-block. We play more of a mid-block. We want to be more in the middle of the pitch. Usually, I feel like we play better there. I feel like when we play there, Casemiro is better. When we play a bit more expansively, Casemiro is not as good. So we want to make sure we continue getting the best out of Casemiro. We know Casemiro and Kobe Mainoo need to be really close together as well to get the best out of both of them. So I don't want them to drift too far apart, which means I really want a mid-block. I really want a mid-block against Tottenham, right? I'm not lying, Sausage. I'm not lying, guys. I actually would in this game. I might start Sesko. Depending on what Tottenham do. I haven't seen a lot of Tottenham games, guys. And like I said, guys, let me know what you're doing in the chat, who you're starting. But I think Tottenham might be a bit more defensive tomorrow. In fact, I actually believe that we probably should have started Sesko in the last game as well. But we started Mbeumo. And as the games continue and keep flowing, I think we're going to edge closer and closer to Sesko starting. Because let's be honest, guys, against a high line, space to run into, Brian Mbeumo, amazing. Good. We've seen that he can do that. Not as quick as he was at Brentford, but he's still speedy, he's still quick, he's aggressive, he's strong. He can play in that position against Man City, against an Arsenal. Against a low block, though, I would prefer Sesko or Zaxi. Because against a low block, what we've seen, Mbeumo cannot hold a play up like the other strikers can. His first touch isn't that great. His hold up play and his link up play in Mbeumo isn't that great. I've said it many times. Mbeumo, aesthetically, is never going to be great on the eye. But Mbeumo is going to be very efficient on the ball. He's going to be, Mbeumo, kind of like our Salah. Mo Salah's not great on the eye, but Mo Salah's going to score you 30 goals a season. I feel like that, and I've said it always said it, that's Mbeumo. But for Tottenham, especially Sesko and his height, crosses into the box, all these things, I wouldn't mind seeing Sesko start. TK would want to hear Lucky Star Madonna. Madonna's TK's childhood sweetheart. But yeah, that's what I would do, guys. That's what I would do. We don't have Dogu for the next month, as we know. Cunha, that position is going to be Cunha's for the next 2 or 3 weeks. I don't think Carrick is going to change the defense. We've literally spoken about Ayden Heaven not starting any more games for the season. So if that's to be believed, he's not going to start any more games. We're not going to see him. Casemiro is his last hurrah. I think he will almost start most games this season. Why wouldn't he? He's right now arguably our best player at the moment, our most important player. And before Carrick came, he was our most important player. I did say that whenever Casemiro got taken off by Ruben Amorim around the 65th minute, we always looked rubbish. The minute Casemiro got subbed off around the 65th minute, because Ruben Amorim made the same subs, Ruben Amorim didn't react to the game that he was seeing. He had these subs already locked the night before. The night before, he already decided, no matter what happened on the pitch, I'm going to sub off Casemiro on the 65th minute for Ugarte. I'm going to sub off this guy for Lenny Euro. He had these same substitutions every game around the same minute, regardless of what was happening on the pitch. Crap. Yeah. So Carrick is not like that. Carrick is not like that. And Casemiro has been so pivotal. I've always been a fan of Cass. When people wanted him gone, when people saying he had no legs and all these things, I said, listen, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I don't think Casemiro was ever quick. Did you watch him at Madrid? He was quicker. He was quicker at Madrid, but he's never been a speedster. He's not Kante. He's never been that guy. And he always played in a midfield 3, not a midfield 2. Or in a midfield 1, like Ten Hag tried to make him do. So I always said, listen, play players, yeah, in their right positions, with the right in the right environment, and you will get the best out of any player. That's all you got to do. You got to find out how to make them tick, find out how they play, and then find out how to get the best out of them, and then create the environment if you can, and you'll see them flourish. That's it. Casemiro is now in the midfield 3, and if you watch Casemiro sometimes, guys, he's not always the deepest guy. Sometimes he's the deepest guy, but sometimes Kobe Mainu is the deepest guy, and he's the box-to-box one. So I would do that. I would start that. Big up Atro. What's Atro saying? Atro saying, I think we should start Sesko up top this game. Yeah. Why not? Why not, Atro? Why not? I feel like if Tottenham are going to do a low block, to be honest, Sesko can do well with low block or not. Sesko also has the pace running behind. And Sesko makes good runs. So, listen, Xerxes is not fully fit. I'm not putting Xerxes in the question yet. But I will start Sesko. And do you know what, guys? Ahmad has to play. I've said to you guys, on the right-hand side, if you're choosing between Ahmad and Mbeumo, once again, you could decide on game to game who the opposition is. But for me, Ahmad is the guy who's more secure on the ball. He's safer in possession. He's less erratic, which could be a bad thing or good thing, because being erratic in the final third can be a good thing at times if it means you're unpredictable, right? So I'm an Ahmad guy. I would start Ahmad on the right-hand side over Mbeumo most of the time. That's what I would do. What's your score predictions, people? And who would you start as well, guys? What's Atro saying? Yeah. Polina, Romero. I'm not afraid of their midfield, though. I'm not afraid of their midfield. I feel like we'll beat them. But yeah, get those guys booked. Get them frustrated. Get them annoyed early. If Xerxes able, I will drop him in at 70 or 60. Yeah, for Sesko. Give Sesko 1 hour and then give Xerxes half an hour. Maybe give Ahmad 60 minutes as well and then bring on Mbeumo for half an hour. Freshen it up. We see. Also, guys, I want you to understand how we went, just by changing our system, we went from having not many attackers to having loads of attackers now. Sesko's on the bench. Xerxes on the bench. Mason Mount on the bench. If Cunha, if Dorga was fit, maybe Dorga would be starting and Cunha would be on the bench. Just by changing the system. That's it. By adding an extra midfielder and taking out an attacker and putting that attacker on the bench, we've now got an extra option. Just like that, guys. Just like that. Football, right? Football. I feel like football is such a fluid thing. We think too rigidly. We literally see football being played at many different ways, many different formations, false nines, target strikers, wing backs, wingers. But then we always say, oh, it can only be played this way. I'm like, bro, we literally see that football can be interpreted and played in many different ways. But then we still, at the same time, say, you have to have this and you have to have this. And I'm like, bro, no, there's no have to have anything. That doesn't exist in football. Well, you have to have a goalkeeper. And I mean, you do. It does in some ways. But you get my point. You get my point. So, big up. I'm saying, I'm going with 3-1, guys. I'm going with a nice 3-1. I feel like 3 goals is the amount of goals we keep scoring. We scored 3 goals against Fulham, scored 3 goals against Arsenal, should have scored 3 goals against Man City, but it was only two. So I feel like scoring 3 goals is probably a safe bet. I'm not confident enough to say that we won't concede, a corner or some jammy little set piece or something. So I'm going to go 3-1 Manchester United. Ahmad is due a goal. It's funny, Ahmad's having a good season. And this is why I say, listen, leave me out when it comes to GA. Because as long as the team wins and we win the league, I don't care where the goals come from. I really don't. I don't care if Xerxes scores 5 goals or Sesko scores 10 goals, but then the attacker scores 20 goals each. It doesn't matter. It's never mattered to me where the goals came from, as long as the team scores, right? But Ahmad scored 2 goals, I think, in the Premier League, which is for him, kind of low. Ahmad's due a goal. One of these cutting on his left shots that he tries to wrap around the far post, he's gonna score. He has to score one of them. He's gonna have to score one of them this season. He's tried that a few times. The goalkeepers keep saving it. He's gonna cut in and score eventually this season, isn't he? Isn't he? Ahmad's due a goal. Ahmad's due a goal, 100%, guys. 100%. Um, Turkish said we won't concede. All right. Acho says the only thing with Sesko is that you don't get that fluid front three. Yeah, you're right. But Ahmad can cross, so he needs to find Sesko. There you go. And what you've just said, Acho, is my point. Some games you won't need a fluid front three. Some games you want this big target man, and some games Sesko's gonna score 2 headers and we're gonna win 2-0. And some games you might want to start a fluid front three. And in some games, you might want to start a Xerxes to drop deep and bring others into play. And then start, if you're going to play Xerxes, you might have to play Mbeumo over Ahmad. Because Mbeumo will do the running behind, right? So if you play Xerxes, play Mbeumo, because Mbeumo is probably more likely to run in behind and use Xerxes as a false nine. So there's so many different ways. So many different ways we can play. So big up the chat. I'm excited, guys. I'm excited. This Tottenham team. I hope, man, because do you know what it is, right? I thought we were going to beat Man City, and I thought we were going to beat Arsenal, and I thought we were going to beat Fulham. There is something about the Spurs side that's what's happened in the past, how bogus they are, how booky they've been. There's something about this side that makes me feel uncomfortable. As much I still think we're going to win 3-1 if we play our game, but there's still a part of me that's still very concerned, reserved almost. A tiny bit. I'm going to be real with you guys. So, big up the chat. Acho says, I'm not afraid of their midfield, but if we limit those two, Romero and Polina, Spurs get shut down, in my opinion. 100% chosen. Different games call for different personnel. I don't mind who's up front. They just need to work it out. That's what I'm like, Acho. If I see Xerxes start, I'm like, cool. Let's see what happens. If I see Sesko start, cool. Let's see. I know I've got faith. None of the strikers we have are rubbish. And they all offer something different. And I know the game is going to be different because of who they are. And I'm just laid back about it. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's see what happens. Just like when Solskjaer started with Sheringham in some games, I was like, cool. Solskjaer starting with Sheringham behind him is going to be a slightly different game than Cole starting with Dwight York behind him. Let me sit back and see how these guys figure it out. Cool. Boom. And that's it. That's it. Anyway, guys, let me see quickly Tottenham. I'm gonna have a look at Tottenham quickly. Tottenham's last game against Man City. If IT guys can bring it on screen for me so I can just have a look at it myself. They had it up. We agreed it was only for my viewing. So I mean, against City, Tottenham all kind of played a 3-4-2-1. Tottenham played Simmons and Colomwani, yeah, behind Solanke as 2 10s. And they played Gallagher and Bissouma as the 2 midfielders. Of course, Romero and Polina were the defenders. And I'm not going to lie, given that formation, and given that that's almost our formation, that's almost a 3-4-2-1, right? That they played against City. I don't know if Thomas Frank is going to play the same way against us, but if they do, we're going to beat them. Because straight away, our midfield is going to overcrowd their 2-man midfield. And yes, they've got Simmons and Colomwani who played in the 2-10 positions, but they're not midfielders like that. And they're going to get clamped by Martinez and Maguire's. They are. And as much as people are talking about Solanke and Solanke's goal that he scored, I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm going to say this. I have never fully rated Solanke. How much did he cost Spurs? Like 50 million or something? 60 million? I've never seen Solanke and be like, yeah, he's him. He's that guy. I'm not afraid of Solanke. Soshi says, stop Solanke and Romero and Spurs fold like a cheap tent. Udogi. Who's the Spurs defender that keeps scoring? They're missing somebody. Who's their best defender? The one that's injured. The guy who flipping neck. Who's the Spurs defender? I think the thing is, I would take him at United. No, not Spence. But Spence didn't play against City. You know when your brain just goes blank, people? Tottenham. Because Tottenham have so many injuries, bro. Oh, yes. Yes. What do you guys think about Van der Ven? Atro. Honestly. Yeah, I think it's Van der Ven. What do you, honestly, am I hyping Van der Ven a little bit? I want to know what Atro thinks. Atro's usually got some really deep opinions about stuff. I want to know what Atro thinks about Van der Ven. Atro usually comes with some. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, I would take him. There's something. Van der Ven's a good defender, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I don't rate Spurs, but Van der Ven's a good defender, bro. And they're missing Van der Ven hard. Yeah, I thought. The reason why I asked Atro, because I thought Atro knows ball, bro. Atro knows ball. But yeah, I'll take Van der Ven Atro as well. So he has great recovery, pace, and he looks good technically. Yeah. I'm on the same page. I'm on the same wave as you, bro. I'll take Van der Ven today. How old is Van der Ven? Van der Ven. Mickey. Van der Ven. 24. Bro. He's young. Young defender, Mickey Van der Ven. Anyway, guys. Whoa, I'm not gonna lie. Because of the previous games against this club, because of the Europa League final, defeat, because of the defeat, the draw this year already that we had with them, because of the previous, let's say, matches where we didn't do well. We didn't make a really good account of ourselves. I can't wait. This game, I'm going to be nervous, guys. My belly's going to be feeling funny. I'm letting you know, this game, I'm not as confident with this game, even though I said 3-1, as the Arsenal-Man City game. What's Atro saying? If anything, I think we can keep him healthy under Carrick ball or similar, as it's less space coverage demanding. So it will save him hamstrings compared to Ange Ball. Yeah, Ange Ball was expansive as hell. Listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. When it comes to Ange Ball, yeah, in a way, yeah, in a funny way, I kind of wish he tried to do it at United because the idea, I like the idea of Ange Ball. I like expansive, quick football. Ange Ball was just all about attack, yeah. Man neglected the defense fully, fully. But yeah, 100%. Thomas Frank is a lot more pragmatic than Ange could ever be. I don't think Ange could set up the way that Thomas Frank set up. Sausage. It's a shame. Think about Delit, yeah. It's a shame, sausage, bro. Because me, I think you guys know, I would go as far as saying this season, Delit has been, before he got injured, our best defender. He was colossal. And I know people are talking about Michael Carrick, not Michael Carrick, Maguire now, but Delit was that guy. And all of a sudden, I feel like he's injured and we're not hearing anything. We're not hearing any news. We're not hearing any updates. He was supposed to be injured for a few weeks, and that was 2 months ago. And every press conference, it's like, what's going on with Delit? And he's like, he's coming back soon. He's coming back soon. And that's like 2 months is gone. So it's like, it's also frustrating for me, Sausage, because we knew about Delit's injury record before he came to the club. And one of the things I said was, listen, I don't mind buying Delit because Delit's a good defender, but I just hope his injury crisis, his injury record was behind him. And to be fair, his first year, I don't think how many days did he miss last season with injuries? And apart from this long injury that he's had, which people don't even know what's going on, I felt like he was turning a corner with regards to his injuries. And it surprised me because I thought that coming to the Premier League, the more physical Premier League, the more physically demanding league, I thought Delit would have a lot more injury injuries than he's had. Mm. So it says he's missed 12 matches this season. Wow. Okay. So I've just asked AI. He's missed, I think, 12 matches this season and maybe like 10 matches last season or something. Mm. Go down. Yeah, that's much better. Yeah, so Harry, that's much better. So last season, last season, he missed 10 games with injury and 3 different periods of injury. One period he missed 1 game, one period is 4 games, one period 5 games. But this season, it's been one whole long period, 61 plus days. That's more than 2 months of 12 games missed, bro. And like I said, guys, for me, I like Delit. It's just a shame that the injury, the injuries that we thought was behind him, it just doesn't seem like they are. However, that being said, it does, it reads that he may be back at the end of February. The end of February. So, Delit is coming back at the end of February. Personally, I think we need him back. The buzz, the dopamine that we're getting, the performances that we're getting out of Maguire and Leacher, I don't believe will last long. We've seen just last game, Maguire concede the penalty, right? That was crap. So the honeymoon period for Carrick, we might start seeing 1 or 2 more mistakes from our defenders. I don't mind having Delit back as quickly as possible. So if Maguire does start doing some funny stuff, we can just swap him for Delit. To swap him for Delit or Martinez, whichever. Um, Sasha says, next time we buy these injury-prone guys, we should include an extended warranty clause. If I buy a lemon product, I want my money back. Yeah, I mean, that's why also we have medicals. I know medicals are interesting. You're supposed to spot certain things and understand certain things from medicals. But, players are good at hiding things. Players will tell you that my knee's perfect. Jump on one knee. How does the knee feel? It feels perfect while they're in a lot of pain. They all lie. So medicals are always interesting. You're supposed to find out certain things when you do medicals, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Big up Shivam in the building. Question for everyone. Why can't we start Mazraoui? I love him. He's way better than Dalot. Shivam's asking the right question. Shivam is asking the right question. I would start Mazraoui over Dalot. He's better technically than Dalot. So yeah, I would start. I would start him over Dalot. I would start him. 100%. 100%. Quickly read the chat before we wrap up, before tomorrow's game, before we all go off and do our thing on a Friday, people. A big up Shivs in the building. All I know is with 3 midfielders, we need a centre back. Oh, we're gonna do this. Listen, I wanted to have the defense conversation soon with you guys. I said at the start of the season that at the moment our defense is okay, but we're gonna have to start having a conversation maybe about our defense. Maybe not now. I feel like when we played with a back 5, when we had 5 defenders, we probably needed different defenders. Like the right and the left centre back needed to be a different profile. But now we're playing with a back 4. I think we're okay again. But we can have this conversation. We can have this uncomfortable conversation about defense. Lenny Euro, Heaven, are they ready? All these little things. Full back. We need, if we're going to look at Dorgu as an attacker now, we need a left back. And if Diogo Leon ain't ready anytime soon, we need a left back. We've got Dalot and we've got Mazraoui who can play right back. But if it's up to me, I'll sell Dalot and get another right back. The question is, how important are those things? Especially in the summertime where we're going to spend about £200 million on our midfield. Once again, decisions will have to be made about what to prioritize in the summer. And some people are just not going to like it. And now everyone knows why Bayern gave us De Ligt for cheap. 50% player for 150% price tag. Yeah, I mean, I will say this about De Ligt. Last season, he was okay. This season, this long period has surprised me. And it's a shame. It's unfortunate. But yeah, I agree with Acho. De Ligt is quality. So yeah, it's one of those ones where if De Ligt plays 80% of the games and he's injured 20% of the games every season, that's still better than Shaw, Mason Mount, and most players. And if De Ligt's only getting paid like 170 or 160, whatever it is, I'm like, cool. And plus that 20% of games that he will miss, yeah, those are the games that Heaven and Lenny Euro should be playing and should be picking up the slack and carrying their weight, pulling their weight. Shiv says, my ideal summer would be Tonali. Shivam, where has Tonali come from? Because I feel like everyone's talking about this Tonali thing. Where is Tonali? Are Newcastle saying they're going to sell Tonali? Is Tonali even available? Anderson, I like Anderson. Stiller, I like Stiller, but the Premier League proven thing, that's the only thing about Stiller. A left back and a centre back. And Neves for free. Ruben Neves for free. Okay, Shivs. I hear that, Shivs. Um, Harry took that PK because his body Dallo was caught up in no man's land. That's definitely a theory. Um, this is silly though, man. He slid because Maguire's not very quick and he's not very mobile. So as soon as Maguire slid, I knew he was going to get the ball. I knew he was going to be slow. He almost got the ball, but it's almost like he didn't even need to slide because the striker was off balance and the shot went straight at the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper saved the shot. So he fouled the striker, Jimenez, after he shot and after the goalkeeper saved it, which was frustrating. And also, the reason why it was frustrating is because before that, Sesko missed the header. Don't forget, we were 2-0 up. Sesko had the header, Jamaican, the header. Sesko had the header, yeah, from Ahmad's cross, and that would have put us 3-0 up. But he missed, and then we conceded, make it 2-1. So football's like that, man. Football's like that. We know football's like that. Hey, maybe something is wrong with our medical staff when they inspect these potential players, says Sausage. I mean, Sausage, don't forget we spoke about what Axel Twansabi is doing and the suing of our medical department. We know that is a thing and we know that is ongoing. And we know that if it wins, I know that Pogba's and the Martials who died for this club, who broke their bodies for this club, who played injured for this club, things like Shaw and the people that you love like Shaw and Mason Mount would never play injured for this club. These guys played injured and broke their bodies for this football club, only to get booed. And so did Rashford. Rashford's back was broken and he just kept playing and playing and playing. So the idea that some players play through their broken bodies and run their socks off for this club and get hated, while some players just spend the whole time on the treatment ground and never play, get loved, fucking pisses me off. I'm gonna let you guys know. It roused me up. It roused me up. But it is what it is. It is what it is, baby. Big up Eddie Blacks in the building. Sorry I'm late. What have I missed? Eddie, listen, the press conference was interesting, Eddie. You can skip back to the start of the show, but we went through we went through all of the major talking points. So before we wrap up, guys, 9 o'clock, make sure you're drinking and enjoying yourself on a Friday. Don't let nobody tell you nothing. Just enjoy your life. That's all I'm going to tell my chat. Always enjoy your life. That's one message I'll say. You only get one of it. Yeah? Do your thing, man. Carrick, speaking about the togetherness of the squad. Speaking about how he spoke for choice in the attacking players. He also spoke about the anniversary of the Munich air disaster, which is, he had to speak about that, which was beautifully said, by the way. He spoke about what the team can do against Spurs in terms of stretching the team. Thomas Frank also weighed in. We spoke about Thomas Frank being scared of Mbeumo and Bruno and Ahmad and those sort of players, which is good because those are our bad boys. Those players are our bad boy players. So big up. We spoke about Heaven potentially not starting any more games until until next season. Apparently, I was not too happy about that. I discussed it a little bit and I showed my frustration about this news, but it is what it is. We spoke about Carrick having new training regime and how it differs to Ruben Amorim and how we're going to keep getting all of these comparisons. But it's also interesting to see the difference and how the difference in approaches seeps through to the pitch. And we're seeing it. And we also spoke about the different approach in terms of match day. So shorter training periods, but more intensity. That's what Carrick is doing differently. So it was a packed show. We spoke a lot. We spoke about the fact that not just the players who played the game are going to have the next day off after the game, but every player, the whole squad has the next day off. Not just the players who played. And I think that is good because that's what Fergie used to do. And I feel like if you give everyone the day off, it makes everyone feel part of the team. It makes everyone feel part of the win. If you only allow the team that played 90 minutes the day off, you feel like they won and you are punished or something by having to train. You don't feel part of them. You feel like they won and you... I'm telling you, feelings, human beings, we're all about feelings. We're all about feelings. And Fergie was good at making footballers feel good so they can perform well. Feelings are important, unfortunately. They are. Carrick wants to make the players make up here strong, flexible, malleable. All of these things. All right, big up. I ain't gonna read that comment from Shivs because me and Shiv have a different opinion when it comes to Xerxes. And I feel like Shiv's opinions on Joshua Xerxes will just wind me up. Shiv's opinions on Joshua Xerxes is just going to wind me the hell up. So, and as much as I talk about Xerxes, try to educate Shivs, he doesn't care. Shivam just doesn't care. And it's his prerogative, by the way, also. But I'm going to be real Shivam. It's just going to wind me up. What's actual saying? Tonali was rumoured for an Arsenal move, so I think that has part the speculation for a summer move. Tonali wants out. I don't think Tonali... I'm not gonna lie, I don't think I even want Tonali. I like him, but I don't want him. After Anderson's and... I want United to keep on track. Unless something absolutely special comes, yeah? Somebody absolutely special is available and that makes you deter from your path. I like the fact that United have their targets, they do their careful research, they do all the stuff and they just go and get it. And they don't get bothered by all these little shiny little toys that you throw at them. They're like, listen, we don't care. Bleber's our guy, we're going to get Bleber. We don't care. Anderson, our guy, we're going to get whoever it might be. Anderson, there's talk that he's going to go to Man City. So we might... Listen, I feel like United, please, if we can finish second, because we spoke about this, and I said, if we are only 5 points away from Aston Villa, just 5 points away from Aston Villa, and I'm thinking about catching them, Aston Villa are only 1 point behind Man City. So if we can catch Villa, we're 5 points away, why can't we catch City? We're only 6 points away. I don't want to be too giddy and get too excited, guys. All I am saying is that Manchester United this season, we could, if, fingers crossed, everything goes our way, we could finish second in the league. Shiv says, I don't think Anderson can do a Casemiro. The one thing that we'll miss from Casemiro, more than his passing ability, more than his box-to-box play, the one thing that, more than his aerial threat, I keep saying how much of an aerial threat this guy is, how much of a goal threat this guy is. We'll miss all of that, but the thing that we'll miss the most, know-how. I've always said this, he might be slow, Casemiro, but doing what he's been doing for as long as he's been doing it at the highest level in football, we're going to miss his know-how. That's why I said if we get the Belebers in and all these guys, it could be good having them learn from Casemiro. I'm telling you, this time that Kobe Mainoo is playing with Casemiro, this time, Kobe Mainoo, he looks more mature. He looks like he knows what he's doing. He's getting instruction from Casemiro. Casemiro's helping him a lot. And I just hope that Kobe is just absorbing all of that. Know what space to be in. Know how to cover your defender. Know how to trap back. Know how to follow a run. Know how to cover the passing lanes. And also Carrick, let's not fuck around. Carrick was the same. Carrick was a deep DM. But Carrick also could do box to box. People forget, yeah. I'm going to end like this. People forget, yeah, that Paul Scholes sometimes played as a DM and Carrick was the one pushing forward. When Carrick and Scholes played together, sometimes Scholes played deep and Carrick played forward. We forget that. So Carrick's there to teach Kobe as well. He's there to teach Kobe as well. Anyway, big up the chat. I disagree. Xerxes is a Premier League player. He's been playing in the Premier League. And before he got injured last season, he was our best player. Don't forget last season, before the Europa League final, before he got injured, Xerxes was on fire. Absolutely on fire. And he got injured. And we all said, oh my Lord, Xerxes is injured. We're not going to win the... Thing about Shivam, yeah, he's got a short memory. He will turn on players in a split second. There's no such thing as he's not a Premier League player, bro. That doesn't exist. He is a Premier League player. If West Ham had Xerxes right now, you'll be seeing Xerxes being a Premier League player. There's nothing that Xerxes can't do. He's a different type of striker, Shivam. That's what you need to get into your head. He's a false nine. And he's got different attributes. We need strikers who are different. I'm trying to educate you. There's nothing wrong with having a striker like Xerxes with a different profile to the strikers that we have, so we can use him in some games, bro. There is nothing wrong. We had Scholes, so we had Cole, York, Sheringham, and Solskjaer. We had 4 strikers, 4 different profiles. One of them hardly ever played, but we didn't care because we had that option. I'm trying to really get you to understand. You might not like Xerxes. TK doesn't like Xerxes. It's cool. But he's a good player, bro. He just has different attributes. He just offers different things, bro. That's how I want to try to get you to think. Hence why I start every show with saying, if you can't critically think, if you got no critical thinking skills and you can't understand what I'm saying to you right now, this might not be a channel for you. Simple. Big up the chat. I think we're going to beat Tottenham, but I am still cautious. And that's how I'm going to end. I'm going to end with very strong words. I do like Xerxes. It's okay to not like Xerxes, but don't say he's crap or anything like that. Because it means you don't understand football if you're going to go and say these things. Because he's not. No crap footballer scores the goal that Xerxes scored against Crystal Palace. That volley there is still arguably the best goal of the season. So let's not be dumb and take the piss. Right? Because I knew I was going to get frustrated. I knew I was going to get frustrated. I'm like, bro, I'm open to different opinions, bro, but come on. Anyway, guys, big up the chat. Big up the chat. Big up Shivs. Shivs knows. Shivam knows. Shivam knows how to get me into this zone. Defending Xerxes. I'm not player FC, by the way. If Xerxes leaves tomorrow and goes to another club, I'll be like, cool, Xerxes. Thank you and good luck. You know? But big up the chat. Tomorrow's the game. We owe Tottenham one, and I feel like we're going to slap them over their heads. Thomas Frank, I feel like I don't want to hear you speak. Because usually when you play us, especially when you're the manager of Brentford, you usually got something quirky to say. Tomorrow at 2:30 or by 2 o'clock, whenever the game finishes, I'll be here with a big smile on my face saying Man United have won. Big up the chat. Big up your Friday. Enjoy yourself. Big up Atro as well. The lack of appreciation for good footballers in the modern game today is sad. I agree with Atro. I agree. I feel like it's all about being big and strong and running quickly and all these things. And I feel like people don't want to see good football anymore in the modern game. I feel like me and you, Atro, are of a dying breed. Because I understand football is a sport. I get it. But the 2 hours I'm watching it, I want to be entertained by it. If we take out all the entertainment and all the beautiful football and all the footballers out of football and just have this robotic football, then there's no point me watching it. I might as well just wait until the result. Go about my day. Don't sit here for 2 hours and just wait until the score comes out. See what the score is. Find out if we won or if we lost, and that's it. I mean, I could have missed every game last season and it wouldn't have bothered me because we played shit in almost every game last season. Almost. Anyway, I will go as far as say this right now. Out of the 2 strikers, Sesko and Xerxes, right now, this moment, Xerxes is ahead of Sesko. Think about it. This is Sesko's first season in the Premier League. Out of the 2, who knows about the Premier League defenders more? Who knows? Out of the 2, I would even start Xerxes over Sesko. Out of the 2, right now. And then bringing Sesko in slowly. But That's an opinion that's not going to be popular. And I understand that. But this channel will never be popular because it's not about saying things that are popular on this channel. It's not really. So big up the chat. Big up the Friday you're going to have. Or the Saturday you're going to have. Big up Shivam. Big up Sausage. TK Atro. Everyone who watches this after the fact. Kwaku. We will be here at 12 o'clock tomorrow. Half an hour before the game. And yeah, let's do it, guys. I'm excited. Very, very excited for tomorrow. And then we have a game on Wednesday, I believe, or Tuesday, midweek. And then after that game, I think there is a 2-week gap in fixtures, people. So, yeah, maybe it's time to do a quiz. Maybe in that 2-week gap, we will get some more of you guys on the Discord. If you guys have a Discord, please throw yourself, jump into the Discord. TK's in it, Acho's in it. There's a few people in it at the moment, but we need more people to make it a bit more lively. So guys, jump in the Discord if you still want to have conversations. Throw in a few memes and all these little things in the Discord. All the information is down below. Like, share, and subscribe. We have to keep doing it. I know I say every show, but it's a new channel, and I feel like this channel has enormous potential, especially with you guys. You guys make the channel. You guys know how this works. Without you, I'm talking to myself. So big up you, even Shivam, even TK, all of you guys, whether I agree with you or I disagree. Remember, it's all football. It's all just opinions. That's all it is. And it's all love at the end of the day. This is a good community. This is a good community that everyone can come back, say their piece, be heard, be seen, have a conversation that's deeper than maybe some other conversations that's out there. And that is the point of this channel. So big up. It's all about love. We're going to smack Tottenham's face. Curb stomp them metaphorically. Yeah. Right hook, left hook. Suplex. Brock Lesnar. No, not even Brock Lesnar. Flip it. Obafemi. We're going to dash them around the ring Obafemi style. Big up, guys, man. I'll see you guys tomorrow, man. Big up. Wait, stop. Who's the MVP? Oh, I'm going to give the MVP out. Turkish giving it to Sausage. All right. Turkish has given... so, Shivam, you're a joker, Shivam, you know. Shivam's a joker. All right. Big up, guys. Big up. And I'll